Hi, it's Sarah. Today I'm going to do my January 2026 reading wrap up. I am going to preface this by my dog knows I'm sitting on the ground, so she wants to play. So you're gonna hear her. My other one's there. I got a coffee. I ramble. This is not gonna be a technical book babble because I don't know if I'm gonna be going. I got a hair on my lip. I don't know if I'm going to be going the full 20 minutes because I don't have much to say. A lot of these books, not a lot of them, but two of the major books that I read that I was so excited about, I will be doing their own videos on, and the rest were just like audio books. Sailor, my puppy, really wants attention right now, so we're going to have that distraction in the background. So yeah, we'll get started. Grab yourself a coffee if you like. My coffee is decaf because it's nighttime. I'm having a hard time. It is the end of January, the beginning of February. These are tough months for mentally ill people or people who live in Canada, where we get very little sunshine, so much snow. Well, I actually live in the sunniest place in Canada. We get the most sun. I'm so sorry about the distraction. Anyway, we're drinking decaf. My cup is from Daisy Books in Edmonton. Fierce, independent, and bookish. I just thought it was so cute and yellow and bright and amazing. So anyway, let's get started on the books. I ended last year and started this year with Heavenly Bodies by Manny Uriu. I absolutely loved it. I'm cheating because I got really sick in December, so it carried on to January. And anyway, I absolutely love this. I would say this is my new Twilight, even though it's so much better than Twilight. It does not even hold Twilight doesn't even hold a candle to this book. This book is so well written. The foreshadowing is incredible. The little tips and tricks she gives in the beginning is just divine. I also got to meet her and have like a Q&A with her at the beginning of this month, and she's lovely, and she just really loves what she does, and she really loves her characters, and so that's just perfect. I am really into astrological things, but not like, I'm into the signs and stuff, but I love the idea of like the sun and the moon. Anyway, what is it about? It is about this girl that gets stolen from her kingdom into a different kingdom. Her name is Alara, and the king Elios wants to use her as a weapon because they're fighting kingdoms, and basically she and his son Enzo kind of fall for each other, and while they're having to like train and stuff. But the yearning in this, is it yearning? I don't know if it probably is a little yearning, but like their buildup of their relationship is actually incredible. There is such a spin. There's a few spins at the end of it that you're like, what the hell just happened? That I automatically, if you're an obsessive person, it made me want to like go back. And I did actually. What I do for my annotations, and Imani really loved these. What I do is like anything that I like, I will tab it and then I'll go back and remove extra tabs and highlight and stuff. Like this is taking me a long time to go through it. It's basically like rereading it. So while I'm going through it, when I picked up on certain things, I was very proud of myself, but also like so impressed by the way that she wrote it, that it was just delicious. That's the only word I can explain about that book and how much fun it was. Now, she has the second book out. It's called Fallen Stars. I also read this one. I read this one, I think, in 15 to 18 hours. I started this, I think, at like 10 o'clock in the morning one day, and I didn't finish it till 2 in the morning the next day. So I was reading it straight. My brain, because I wanted to read both books before I went and met her. And so I ended up doing that. And this one was a wild ride. Alara is a lot darker and she's having to venture. And it's so interesting because the way that the imagery is set up is like in the beginning of this book, you really are feeling the darkness. And then halfway through, you feel the light come back. And not just light, like I felt pinks and stuff. I'm a little bit more sharp about what happened in the first book rather than the second book, but it was just as enjoyable. And her third book is coming out at the end of, stop it, Hakuna's now kissing me. Her third book is coming out in November, and I'm very excited for that. The way that she describes colors and fashion and places, it just sets my little pea brain mind up so well to like be immersed in the world. And that is so appreciative, because most of the time when I read stories and books and whatever, you don't really get, I guess you do, but for me, I kind of am in my own surroundings. I don't immerse myself in them, or the author doesn't like immerse me in the situation or their situations as well as Imani did. Imani. Ugh, my pronunciation. I'm so sorry. My pronunciation. Ugh. Anyway, it's a day. I normally do this earlier. I don't know if I said that already in this video, but I normally do this earlier in the day, and I have more spunk about me. I also read a book called Sage of Hope and Ruin by Riley Knight. This was brought to me because I was signing up for ARCs, and I signed up for her second ARC that I haven't gotten around to, unfortunately, but I really gave myself time to read this book, and it was really good. I liked the storyline. I liked the idea of the book. I just had too many questions throughout it, and it might have been my own annotating issues. Sailor, please stop. It would have been my own annotating issues where I didn't like maybe annotate all the things that I should have, but it left a lot of questions in my mind. And with all the other books that I like overwhelmed myself to read this month or this year, I just haven't gotten to the second one, and I don't know if I will. The first one was good. It was interesting. I just don't know if I will read the second one. I listened to a few books this month as well. I have this thing, and it actually made me not like watch a lot of stuff or read a lot of stuff, because my ADHD brain needs it in a order. So I normally want to read the book before I watch a new show, and I've kind of like canceled that in the last few years because I have so many books that I want to read that like if there's a show, it's great, and if the show's great, I'll obsess over something. I think you might know where I'm going with this. I read or listened to Heated Rivalry. I screenshotted the book cover because I listened to Heated Rivalry by Rachel Reed. Now listen, the book or the show is incredible. I have found myself wanting to talk to everybody about it, and it's just so unfortunate because there's so many people that won't watch it, and I have a big hockey presence in my family, and I want to talk to my hockey family members about this, but they won't watch it. But I watched the show. I think I've watched it like 6 times already. It's addicting. It's so beautiful. The love story is unmatched. The love is unmatched. There's no problems. There's problems, but I was watching Trixie and Katya talk about it, and how Katya is like, there's no there's no AIDS epidemic, there's no like trap houses and stuff, and I was like, yeah, they just made it a love story, and that's what it is, and the book is just as good as the show. I listened to it after watching the show, and I did also listen to The Long Game, and here's my photo of that. by Rachel Reed. And it was just as good. I think the first one obviously is the yearning in it and the secretness of it and are they or won't they kind of thing. That's kind of exciting. But the second one, I think Ilya Rozanov is literally the sweetest person I've ever read. And it's funny because when you first meet him, I think the stereotype of Russians being like so tough and loud and serious, that's at least mine first impression of him, and learning how sweet and calm and loving he is, especially so in The Long Game. He's obsessed with dogs. I wish they would have like foreshadowed that a little bit more, but I think in the show they did a really good job with his personality when he was like in the pool with all his teammates' kids, like playing sharks. Like that really shows what Ilya is like. It's been a while. I just found myself like sitting there listening to it, just crying because the love is so pure. It's so nice. It's honestly makes me I was on such an up listening to it, and now I'm kind of bummed because like, you know, love is in the air and I don't get to have it in that same way because I'm not a gay man. Anyway, after I read or listened to The Heated Rivalry Boys, I needed, and The Fallen Stars and Heavenly Bodies and all the fantasy, I wanted to read The Full Moon Coffee Shop by Mai Mochizuki. It's a translated book. It was sweet. It was very sweet. I just came off of an astrological kind of thing, and this one is also astrological, but shorter. And so I was able to like, this is like a little bite-sized pocket of cuteness. There's 3 different people that are mentioned in the story, and their lives are intertwined by this coffee shop that pops up only on full moons. And they're confused. They can assume they're dreaming. I don't think you actually ever learn if they're dreaming, and it teaches you a little bit of astrology and what your signs mean or Saturn returns means. And I think the end story of like how it all ties together was so lovely and sweet. And if you want a little snack size bundle of cuteness, this is definitely something to pick up. I have listened, I've been going to the gym, but also like hanging out and stuff. I will listen to books. I don't like to really, but I listen to books that I've already read. So I finished listening to, but I have the book, A Court of Wings and Ruins by Sarah J. Maas. We all know what this is about. This is a fun story. It's great. I love it. But I love A Court of Silver Flames the most. Nesta is probably my favorite character. Just because I like how she's portrayed. I like the... Oh, there we go. We got barking. No, come here. Come. She's doing good. Nope. No. Come here. I wonder if he'll open the door. Sorry, guys. I'm getting deliveries. Nesta's my favorite, so I'm just basically listening to get there. Can you not? No. Stay right here. I'm kind of listening just to get to A Court of Silver Flames. I don't fully remember everything that happens. I know that there was a war. I fucking hate Tamlin. Pardon my language. Yeah, so I listened to that, finished listening to it, and then started A Court of Frost and Starlight. This one's kind of like a Christmas story to me. I don't know how much you learn in this that's worth it, but again, I'm just re-listening to get back to the Nesta of it all. And is there 6 books? 3, 4, 5. When the 6th one is announced, I will probably do a deep dive, rereaded them all. So those are the finishing of the ones that I've read this month. I read one of my library books in January, and I think this is what really like solidified my seasonal depression only because the author was so good at explaining loneliness and explaining grief that it was laid out so well for me that I don't think my brain knows the difference. So I need some real happiness. I should have listened to Heated Rivalry beforehand. And that is The All Night Sun by Diane Zinna. I think this is her first and only book she's written. And it was so good. If you watched my library video, you know that it's about a girl named Lauren who lost her parents 10 years before this story takes place, and she's a teacher of adult education writing classes to like ESL, or yeah. So she becomes friends with one of her students from, where are they from? Hold on. Sweden. So she becomes really close with her friend from Sweden, and they kind of bond over grief, and they both lost somebody very close to them. Lauren, her parents, in Syria, I think she lost both her mother and father in some way, and that's how they bond. And Syria invites her over to Sweden for the summer to see the all-night sun and experience life there. And the loneliness was so prevalent in the first half, and how loneliness and grief blend together, and almost delusion, like you almost become delusional in the way that you live in that grief. I haven't experienced great grief like that. I've obviously had grandparents die and animals die, but to lose like a parent, that seems really intense. So for someone who hasn't had that experience, the author did a good job of getting me in their shoes. And so then there's so much fun. There's kind of like insecurity when they're having their friendship, and there's excitement. And then the trip ends, and she ends up going back to where she's from. I think it's Washington, D.C. Let's see. Yeah, ends up going back to Washington, D.C. and Siri's gone dark on her. She's feeling very confused and keeps denying that they have a friendship. One of Siri's friends that she meets over the summer ends up in America and is kind of rude to her. And you go through this whole experience of what this woman's going through. And I remember reading, being like, all these people she should be friends with, which are her coworkers and other teachers that work in the school, those are the people they're reaching out to her, and it's just not what she wants. She wants this friendship with this other girl, but then spends her time denying her relationship with this other girl. And she thinks it stems from like the fact that she falls for Siri's brother. And anyway, it was just shocking, and you get kind of confused throughout it all. It was just very well written, and it made me feel a lot. And I'm not as obsessed with it as I am with my Imani books, where it's whichever, but it's at with me, and I am going to have to heal from it for a while. So yeah, those are the books that I read or finished reading or listened to this month. They were fun. They were all over the place. I don't normally get that many read. I probably won't have too many in February, only because school is kind of ramping up for me, and I have to finish my classes, and I am a mom, and yeah, so I'm hoping to get some more fun stuff done in February reading wise, but I'm not going to stress myself. I kind of burnt myself out from the excitement. And if you have ADHD or like an obsessive disorder, you know that like you'll go gung-ho and then life hits you and you fall down and whichever. The books that I highly recommend everyone to read if you're into fantasy is Heavenly Bodies and Fallen Stars. Yeah, Heavenly Bodies and Fallen Stars. Those were my favorite. If you want for like love and fantasy, if you want love and you're not like, what am I trying to say? If you want just sweet, sweet love, Heated Rivalry and The Long Game with Ilya and Shane. I think those two stories are just beautiful love stories. It doesn't matter if it's about hockey. Yeah, they're hockey romance books. They're two men that are in love with each other, and it's just perfect. If you really want to get yourself in the feels and you can get out of the loneliness, The All Night Sun. Definitely give that a read if you need some bonding about grief or loneliness. And Sarah J. Maas, where's the sixth book? That's all I have to say. I need the sixth book. My dopamine from this is slowly diminishing. I'm still going to listen to it. I'm going to read it. See, I'm saying that now, and I don't know if I would, because there's a competition. Listen, okay, guys? I know these authors are like side by side, but if I'm going to be reading anything, depending on who announces their book first, it's either the Fourth Wing series or this one. Fourth Wing is going to come first. And then apparently there's, anyway, babbling. I wasn't going to babble. I babbled. Yeah, I kind of went off there. But yeah, if you are into fantasy, the gateway drug is A Court of Roses and Thorns by Sarah J. Maas. If you're looking into if you're a contemporary girly looking to get into fantasy, A Court of Roses and Thorns is really good, but also like Heavenly Bodies is actually pretty good at it too. Anyway, thank you for watching my video and listening to my rambles. This will get better. This is good enough. I'm gonna not like let the sad control me. I do prefer filming in the day, but it is what it is. Thank you for watching, and probably for future me when I'm like, oh, what did I read in January 2026? You're doing good, sweetie. Bye.